The night everything changed. I know you always say it. That's nonsense. Ghosts aren't real. But today, after you hear my story, you'll decide for yourself. In 2019, a man named Mazen, a young engineer in his 30s, moved into a new apartment in Istanbul. The building was old, the rent was cheap, and the neighborhood was quiet. Everything seemed perfect. But on his very first night, Mazen noticed something deeply strange. The elevator was stopping at a floor that didn't exist on the button panel. There was no number 13 anywhere in the entire building, but the elevator kept stopping there. He assumed it was a malfunction, a programming glitch, until the day he decided to open the door himself. The door that should never be opened. On a Friday morning, Mazen borrowed the maintenance key from the building owner, claiming the elevator was throwing errors. He stood before the electrical panel and pressed the mysterious button. The elevator moved slowly. It stopped at the hidden floor. The door opened. In front of him, a long, dark hallway, the smell of mold and dust. The floor covered in a thick layer of grime, with footprints in it. Small footprints, a child's footprints. Mazen walked slowly, his phone lighting the way. At the end of the hallway, he found an open apartment, an old sofa, family portraits hanging on the wall. Every single face in every photo had been erased. And then, he heard footsteps behind him. He turned around. Nobody there. But the door behind him was closed. The truth they buried. Mazen made it out that night, but he couldn't sleep. In the morning, he went to the city archives and requested the building's records. What he found shook him to his core. The building was constructed in 1962, and in 1971, on the 13th floor specifically, an entire family vanished in a single night. A father, a mother, and 3 children. The investigation found no trace of them. None. The building's decision at the time: permanently seal the 13th floor and erase its existence from all official documents, as if it had never been there at all. Mazen returned to his apartment trembling. He opened his laptop and started writing down everything he'd found. And then, his phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. A child's voice whispered, "Why did you open the door?" The return, seeing what cannot be seen. Mazen didn't run, and that was his biggest mistake. After 3 days of insomnia and nightmares, he decided to go back to the 13th floor. This time, he brought a camera. The footage he captured was later posted online and watched by millions. At the 3-minute mark of the recording, a child's figure appears behind him in an antique mirror, standing still, motionless, staring directly into the camera. Mazen didn't see it in the moment. He only noticed when he reviewed the video. And when he decided to go back and confront what he'd seen, the 13th floor was gone. The elevator passed right through it, as if it had never existed. After the story, and why you should care. Mazen lives in a different city today. He refuses to discuss the details. But in his last public statement, he said only one thing. Some places are sealed because what's inside doesn't want to leave, and some doors stay locked because what's behind them is still waiting. The 13th floor of that building remains unknown to this day. Authorities refuse to investigate. The missing family's file, still open. Do you believe now? Have you ever heard of the phenomenon of hidden floors in old buildings? Write it in the comments. And if this story got to you, subscribing to the channel means I'll bring you something even stranger.